So we are back today with another Apex Legends video, and in today's video we're going to be going over a few tips and tricks for you guys who are looking to get into Diamond or Masters. You know, quite a lot of people, I think it's fair to say, are definitely looking to achieve that rank. So, you know, if you're really desperate to get this rank, I've got you guys covered in today's video, as I've got plenty of experience myself. I'm not gonna lie, I do always achieve Diamond, and obviously last split I did achieve Masters for the first time. So, you know, hopefully in today's video you learn a thing or two. And if you do enjoy today's video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel to see more Apex related content. We do daily streams and videos on the channel. And one more final thing before we get into today's video, I do also have a Discord. If you want to go and check that out, feel free, because it's quite a friendly community in there. And also, if you're looking for some teammates, we've got all sorts of different players in there, whether it's ranked or pubs. So like I said, if you're looking for that teammate, then my Discord is definitely for you, so feel free to check that out. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So moving into the first tip of today's video, we're going to be talking about legend selection. Now, as you may or may not be aware, Olympus is the biggest map on Apex Legends currently, so what comes with that is obviously the engagements you take on, and in this map there's a lot of medium to long range engagements, whether that's taking on the fight or getting out the fight. These 5 legends I'm going to be going over are the best suited towards that playstyle. So Octane, Horizon, Bloodhound, Gibby and Bangalore are the 5 legends to use. And you're probably wondering why Revenant isn't on this list. Well, because the map is obviously a lot bigger than Kings Canyon, like the totem is going to be more exposed to, you know, people just camping there waiting for you to get out of the totem. So Revenant isn't as viable, but don't get me wrong, he's still a crazy legend to use, especially for the ranked meta. So Revenant isn't in the meta this split, but he will probably be back in World's Edge, no surprise. And yeah, using these 5 legends are gonna, you know, increase your chances of helping your team out, and as a result, obviously increasing your chances of surviving more fights. So definitely use these 5 legends if you haven't already. And now we're gonna be moving on to the second tip. So we have made it into the second tip of today's video, and I'm going to be talking about weapon selection / meta. Now, just because it's a big map doesn't mean you have to use long range weapons. In my opinion, the best weapons to use this split is the R301, Volt, Spitfire, Hemlock, and maybe you could use an Ether 8 as well. Now, these weapons are definitely suited towards the legends you use as well. So for example, with Bloodhound, I'd probably use an R301 and a Volt, and an Ether I'd probably stick on a Gibby, but you can use them on any of the legends I have mentioned earlier on and you'll still do a good job. But you know, like, even having a big map doesn't mean you have to use long range engagements. However, you know, if you're more comfortable using long range weapons such as the Sentinel or the Triple Take, then feel free, because this is a great map to use on them, especially the Triple Take, because obviously sometimes you may get caught out in close range, and you know how good the Triple Take is, especially at close range. So feel free to use any of these weapons and you will see a drastic improvement with your KP. Survey beacons is something that a lot of people forget about, but it can be so vital to your team. And honestly, if you don't do it already, make sure to use the survey beacon. Now, there are plenty of legends to use a survey beacon for. I believe the current legends you can use them for right now is Pathfinder, Crypto, Bloodhound, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing one more. I don't even know. But the point is, use beacons to your advantage, because like on Olympus especially, positioning is so important on this map. You could sort of get away with it on other maps just because obviously there was a lot more cover. So, you know, like, make sure to rotate early, well, as early as you can, and obviously to utilize those beacons, because You don't want to be that team that rotates in late and gets focus fired because, you know, they're in the open with no cover. I've seen this happen to so many teams, especially in Diamond, so please don't make the same mistake. And yeah, we're going to be moving on to the next tip. So the next tip I'm going to be going over in today's video is your start and drop. Now, a lot of people have a misconception that start and drop doesn't mean anything, but trust me, if you want to get towards that end game, then having a good start and drop really can make a difference, especially because like most people at the start of the game, they have really bad loot, and these 5 locations are really going to help you out in terms of not only just loot, but limiting the third parties as much as possible. So the 5 places I'm going to be going over are Hydroponics, Docks, Carrier, Oasis, and Power Grid. Now, you may or may not have noticed, but most of the locations I've just mentioned, they are on the edge of the map, and this is what you want, because you don't want to be stuck in a place like Estates or Turbine, because not only are they high traffic areas, but they are dead in the center of the map, so a lot of people are going to rotate through there eventually, and if you're fighting there, then you're just going to be exposed, and as a result, you're most likely going to get third parties. So really looking at your start and drop is going to help you in the overall longevity of the game, so make sure you definitely analyze your start and drop. So we have made it to the halfway point of today's video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it so far and learned a thing or two. Let me know what rank you're trying to achieve in the comment section down below. I know quite a few people are looking to get to Masters, and all I'm going to say is if you're a Diamond player watching this video or Plat player, then you should have a pretty good chance of getting Masters this season, so long as you follow these tips, because Diamond and Master lobbies especially, they aren't too different nowadays. So, you know, if you keep that grind up, guys, I'm sure you will get to it. But thank you all for watching. I'm going to leave you guys with the rest of the video. So, one of the final tips in today's video I'm going to be going over is rotations. Now, I feel like I haven't gone over this properly enough on the channel, so rotations is definitely huge, especially if you're going towards that end game approach. So, you know, you got to rotate quick and efficient, and the best way of going about it is sticking to the edge of the map as much as possible. Try and avoid them central zones unless you absolutely have to, but I'm going to show you a good example of, you know, rotating efficiently. So as you can see right now, we're at Grow Towers, and obviously the ring is at Rift. However, if we go straight to Gardens, then there's going to be 1 or 2 teams most likely there. So what you want to try and do is wrap around Gardens if possible, and it's obviously probably the most safest route to take. Anywhere you can around the edge of the map, just rotate efficiently. Try and avoid fights while you're rotating, because if you do try and take on a fight, just be wary that they will probably try and ring hold you, and you know what happens when that is the case. So yeah, rotate efficiently if you can, guys, and avoid the center bits of the map if possible. And now we're going to be moving into the second from last tip. So this point I'm going to be talking about is sort of linking towards my last point, and it's going to be talking about the Trident. Now, originally I wasn't a big fan of using the Trident, as it did get me killed quite a few times in the last split. However, you know, I've been noticing, like, on a split especially, using it in the correct way is going to save your team, definitely, either when you're rotating at the last minute or you're just trying to get out of a fight. Now, this is obviously going to help massively when you're rotating in late, but a few things that I wouldn't do with the Trident is using it in the center parts of the map. You're going to be attracting a lot of attention, which is obviously what you don't want. And secondly, I wouldn't be using the Trident to get into a fight. You don't want that to happen, because most of the time they will have a head start on the fight, and if they put an arc star on your Trident, I think it's fair to say you are screwed. So using the Trident in the effective way is going to help your team out massively, so definitely look into using that if you haven't already. And now we're going to be moving on to the final tip of today's video. And finally, we have made it to the last tip of today's video, and all I'm going to say is it's going to take time, especially because if you're a solo queuer, like so many of the players out there looking towards getting masters, then there's going to be a lot of bumps along that road towards getting to masters, and that's okay, especially if you are solo queuing. I know how it is with the game, and especially random teammates, you know. You'd be thinking to yourself like, oh, why am I being put with these teammates? And that's just part of the game, unfortunately. But what I say to that is, you know, if you're having some difficult games, feel free to take a break and come back refreshed, because if you just play the game being frustrated, then you are going to lose points. There's no doubt about that. And also just looking at your mistakes, like there's going to be certain situations where you're going to lose a fight, and you may or may not blame it on the game, but look at your mistakes, even record your gameplay, you know, look at what you could have done better. And that's how, you know, like so many of the pro players are where they are today, because, you know, they look at their mistakes and look at what they could do better next time. So, you know, just analysing your mistakes and, you know, taking breaks can really make a big difference. And a final little point I was going to go over is, you know, minimizing the amount of points you're losing. So don't feel afraid to rat. There are quite a few places on Olympus especially to rat on. I don't know myself many places, however I know for a fact there is quite a few places to rat, so don't feel ashamed to rat on any of the maps, so long as you're taking 18 rather than 48 as a worst case scenario. That isn't the end of the world. So, you know, it's going to take some time, but don't feel ashamed. And yeah, and with that, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next video.